Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you are consuming content like this. The name of this lovely channel is Holistic Manifesting, because I believe in the whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we are choosing. What I'm discussing in this video is everything that you desire will happen for you in divine timing. Everything that you desire will happen for you in divine timing. So one of my biggest ways of having proof of this idea or this concept or this way of being is thinking about all of the times in the past where I had no idea something was unfolding. I had no idea one situation was going to lead to the next. And then all of a sudden I was blessed with something that I didn't even have on my mind at that particular time because I was so focused on something else turning out to be a certain way. When we get caught up on how things are going to happen all the time, that's when we can forget that we're not in charge of the timing of it happening, right? And the reason we're not in charge of the timing is because we don't have all of the information. The information that we have on what's going to occur in our lives at any given time is very limited. What we have control over and what we can do most of the time is position ourselves to be ready when these things come about. So yes, when you're supposed to get a promotion in a certain job or a certain environment or whatever it is you're working on, if you're not in that position, then no, you can't receive the promotion. So there's a part of it that we're always supposed to be doing. We're always supposed to be teeing ourselves up for the next thing that we want to occur in our lives. But at the same time, we have to remember that everything happens in divine timing. I also see divine timing as protection. Protection from us forcing things and putting things into place before they're ready and before we're ready, and then having to tear it all down and then rebuild it again because it wasn't quite prepared to be consumed by us, to be lived out by us, right? If I can think about something like, those cakes they make in the oven that if you open the oven a little bit too soon, it completely collapses. I don't know what kind of cake it is because I don't really bake. It'll completely collapse. So think about that. You have to wait until the perfect timing in order to open it up. And then when you do get the perfect timing, you have to make sure you handle it with a lot of care. And you know that how important it is because you've had a cake like that collapse on you before. And that's how we got to look at things in our lives. When we actually get these opportunities and when things that we're trying to manifest or our desires are ready to show up in our lives, we'll know how to handle it way better than we would if we were forcing it, if we were trying to get in front of it, if we were trying to just make it happen because we want to see it today in our lives. This is a lot with relationships with people. I think about this very easily because I can think about me as the younger person. And I'm clearly seeing this person that I'm talking to is not truly ready for a relationship in the way that I want one, right? As a young person. But I mean, people probably still doing this, but I'm pushing this thing forward, but I'm pushing it forward knowing that the timing is not working. But in my mind, I want this thing so bad that I'm willing to push it into place, even though this person is not ready, this situation is not ready, none of the environment around it that would be fruitful for its growth is ready. But we don't see that. And so sometimes we have to learn the hard way. And then we force a connection. And then the results we get from the connection is not necessarily what we want to experience. And we got to rip it all down and then build it back up. So what if instead we understood our position, we understood our role in creating manifestations and creating our desires and experiencing the life that we choose? If we understand our role, then we know that it's simply being in gratitude. It's doing our regular meditations. It's paying attention to our thoughts and how those thoughts are making us feel and then creating new thoughts. It's doing scripting if you're into that. It's putting forward the inspired action whenever you get that inspired action to do something and go forward and leave out of the house or create something or make a phone call and those sort of things, send an email. That's all our job is. Our job is not to hunt people down. It's not to try to do witchcraft on them to get them to to succumb to our desires, right? It's not to try to get out there and force ourselves upon people, and people not calling us back for certain things, and then we're calling again because we're determined, right? That's not our job, because 9 times out of 10, whenever you go into situations and environments like that, you generally have to keep it up the same way, and it's going to wear you out. It's going to be exhausting, because the things that are put in our lives by the Creator, the things that are showing up in divine timing, those are the things that have the wherewithal to stay in our lives. It's like those are the things that are the most beneficial, the most pleasant to experience. And it's because we waited and we did our portion. I am currently experiencing a blessing right now in my life that I couldn't have even forced into place if I wanted to, right? I was just summoned to make a phone call at a specific time, to send an email at a certain time. And then what's so funny is that when this happened, I was positioning myself, but I got a little bit anxious at one part, and I remember thinking I should email her again, and I never did it, because I'm like, no, if this is divine timing, and if this is supposed to play out the way it's supposed to in my life, everything I got going on is prepared for this manifestation. And I'm currently experiencing the blessings or the benefits from that manifestation right now and for the past few months. And when I tell you, I couldn't have put it into place the way that it went out into place so easily, the way that it, developed in my life so quickly. So we have to keep that in mind, that when we get into that mode of like forcing things or trying to push things into place or trying to force people to be in our lives or trying to hunt people down and always feeling like we are in a wanting energy, that's always the wrong place to be. I feel like when you are in that space, you may have to experience a few things that are unwanted for you to outgrow the push and the pull related to that, right? Like, you can be excited about life. You can be joyful about life. Like, I got a real fire about life and like experiencing things and like creating a life you choose and all that stuff. Like, it's a fire that stays lit inside of me. But most of the time you see me walking around and doing business and like handling everyday life, I'm very chill and I'm very unsuspecting. And it's because I understand that these things happen in divine timing. I don't go out looking for people and passing out business cards. And I don't think anything is wrong with that, because if that's inspired action, then that's going to be what you need to be doing. But you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference because are you anxious about it? Do you feel like you're going to lose something if something doesn't play out? When we're casual about things in our lives, that's how we know we're allowing space for divine timing to show up and create the things that we are wanting to experience in our lives. And you have to think back of the many times in your life, because everybody's experienced this, when you've had those moments to where, I couldn't have put this together any more perfect than what it actually played out, right? And I had no intentions of meeting that person on that corner at that specific time, but divine timing put us in the same place at the same time, right? And sometimes we call everything divine timing, and when it's really not, we're kind of just, hovering over this thing and trying to make it happen and force it to happen. And we're like, divine timing. But it's really not, because we know that we were in a anxious mode. We were in a more of a forceful mode. We were in a non-patient mode. But when we get into that place where we're relaxed and we know that however this plays out, I don't even have the information to make it all happen and go the way it wants to go. But all I can do is remember all of the times when divine timing stepped into my life, and it didn't matter what I did or how I created it, it worked out. Have you ever had the experience of going to go do something? Say you had to go to the workplace to go pick up something or do something or whatever, and you're just hoping that, oh my God, I hope so-and-so isn't there. And you like just put it out of your head. And then you'll walk into that place to go pick up something or do something, and they'll tell you, oh, so-and-so came through here, 2 minutes ago. You just missed them. And you know that was nothing but divine timing, because if you had tried to plan it out and call people and send an email and say, so-and-so there, I didn't want to be bothered with them today. I don't want them to see me. I don't want to interact with them. And then it'll be a situation to where you come in there and that person's like, I forgot my water bottle. And then they come back up the stairs, and then you wind up seeing them face to face, and you didn't want to be bothered. But I've had those situations happen to where I'm just like, hey, I'm just leaving it out there. And people are telling me, you just missed so-and-so by 5 minutes. You just missed this by 2 minutes. And I'm like, hey, now that's what I'm talking about, right? And I love teaching this to my daughters because they see it play out all the time. And things will happen to where I'll go to the school to go pick up something or do something. And sometimes I don't coordinate everything and I don't try to figure everything out. And I'll just walk up to the counter right when the right person needs to be there. The last time I went to go check my daughter out of school, I didn't have my ID, but I've been there so many times. But I know my hair changed and I'm like, it depends on who's behind that counter. But there was one lady that's back there who's obsessed with my locks, and she started growing really long locks because I had them. And so when I saw her, she was like, "Oh, you cut your hair." And she never once asked for the ID. She just got right on the phone and called for my daughter. And what I know that is divine timing, because soon as she was done with me, she was like, "Oh, I wasn't even supposed to be down here. I gotta go." And she was supposed to be at another office doing something else, but she just happened to be lingering around. Divine timing. And she's the only person I know at the front office. So what I mean is that some of these things, we can't even force them to happen because we don't even have all of the information. I don't know why she was still there. I don't know what she was supposed to be doing. But what I do know is that I didn't have my driver's license and I didn't want to go all the way home to go grab it and come back because it was going to be a lot of trouble. But to have somebody know who you are, that's a benefit, right? And never question, that that's your child because they've seen you pick up the child. But I've had those kind of things happen before. So anyway, do your scripting, do your meditation, do your, scripting, meditation, do your affirmations, listen to subliminals, all those wonderful things. Do the inspired action, position yourself, and then just relax because divine timing is going to take care of all of the rest. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.